When we think of queens, we think of powerful women who sit on a throne. We think that they were more common in ancient times, with the exception of a few countries today. But I'm here to tell you that there are queens walking among us. And even though you may not have power over a kingdom of people, you do have personal power. And if you have a family, you do have responsibility on your subjects, aka children, who you must protect and care for, and whose path in life you have a strong influence on. In today's video, I'm going to talk about queen things. And if you look at queens, they were quite feminine and they were powerful and had influence. So, as a woman, here are 3 things you must recognize and take full ownership of yourself on the way to queendom. The first is your power. In order to be a queen, you must recognize the power that you have. If you feel powerless, then there's no way you can move about your day, much less your life, with a sense of authority. Every woman has value, innate value and value that she can offer others. And if you're unsure about what I mean, think of offering value as a service. How are you of service to others? Is it your ability to give encouragement? Are you good at math and accounting? Is it being a doctor, a banker, a good mom? As a woman, you have to recognize your own personal power in a world that often tries to chip away at female empowerment. You also must believe that you have the final say of the direction that your life will go in through the choices that you make. The life that you live matters not only for you, but for your family members, your friends, and those who interact with you on a regular basis. And your daily choices and how you lead your life mattered yesterday, it matters today, and it'll matter tomorrow. And the generation that follows you, which are your children if you have any, and see how you move through this world, is going to be influenced. Queens leave an inheritance for their children. And dependent on your choices, you can leave an inheritance that's either a blessing or a curse to them. A queen knows that she adds value to this world, and so she takes herself and her influence on those that she cares about seriously. The second thing is beauty. As African American women, we are some of the most beautiful women in the world, all the time and right through. But I feel some of us are not moving through life like we know this. The beauty business makes billions of dollars every year on enhancements that we naturally have. When a beautiful woman walks into the room, people notice because people like to look at beautiful women. Now, as Black women or any woman who comes from an underrepresented group, whether it be Asian, Hispanic, and so on, what we see in the media doesn't hype us up. But despite this, we have learned to appreciate each other and hype ourselves up. Cultural acceptance has played a role in women, especially young women, embracing themselves and their beauty. But at the end of the day, recognizing your beauty and making the most of it involves your ability to create a standard for yourself outside of societal expectations and to an extent outside of cultural expectations. For example, in African American culture, having a nice butt is considered a nice feature on a woman. So it's a beauty standard, but what if, you're flat back there? You don't have to resort to butt implants or surgery to fit into this cultural expectation. You most likely have other features that are very appealing culturally and within the wider society that you can enhance through makeup or clothing. And when we ladies choose to recognize what's beautiful about ourselves, then others will too. In addition to this, beauty standards are different depending on where you live in the world and who you interact with. Change any of these factors in your life, and you may come to feel differently about certain things. This is why you shouldn't adjust to anyone else's measuring stick of beauty, but instead have your own standard. And number 3, your intelligence. When you are a queen, you have a certain level of self-efficacy. And what self-efficacy means is that you believe in your ability to use your mind to motivate yourself and to behave in a way that allows you to reach your end goal. Intelligence is about thinking things through for yourself and being confident with your thoughts. Queens had certain problems that had to be solved, and they couldn't go to this one and that one to solve it because they were high-stake problems. For them, they had to be the person to figure out a solution. And if they looked for advice, they had a few trusted confidants. But even then, if you've watched movies with queens, there were some things they kept to themselves, especially matters about the king. And in order to come up with a solution to any problem, you as a woman need to practice solving minor day-to-day problems so that you can develop more confidence in your ability to solve larger ones. Basically, I'm saying that you have to value the ideas and thoughts that you come up with as it pertains to your own life, more than outside opinions. Now, you can go ask your mother or husband or best friend for their advice, but what they are really doing is using their mind to come up with a solution. And there's nothing wrong with seeking advice from someone you trust, but why not see what your mind says about it first? Queens recognize the value of their own mind and its ability to help them navigate life. And I'm going to add one more thing. That is, queens recognize that queens, they don't rule alone. They need help. So my bonus point is this. Being a queen is not all about work and navigating the hard aspects of life. It's also about taking care of yourself and being taken care of by others. None of us have read a story about a queen where she is not being helped in life. I'll say that again. None of us have read a story, book, or watched a movie with a queen where she isn't being helped. So it's important that you balance the hard aspects of life with what is soft, which means self-care and getting help when needed. None of us can live a fulfilling life solo. And by solo, I don't mean single. What I do mean is without a support system of some kind. First, let's talk about self-care. Nurturing ourselves as women and taking time each week to do something good for ourselves, even if it's DIY at your own home, will do more for you mentally than you just trying to push your way through. As women, we have to nurture our feminine energy. And you do this by taking time to take care of yourself. And second, as a woman, having a network around you, whether it's family, 2 or 3 good friends, a partner, or your children, we need people in our lives who accept us and who we're able to turn to when we need help. Now notice I said network because no one person can be everything to someone, nor is it fair to place that responsibility on anyone. So try to nurture a few good relationships in your life. Make some deposits by caring for others, and you'll be able to make a withdrawal when you need it. So to wrap it up, I spoke about recognizing your value, beauty, and intelligence, as well as the ability to receive help as all traits of queens. And the reason I've said these attributes are important is because we're all part of having femininity and knowing your worth. When you're able to see the good parts of who you are, you'll be able to develop them further and move towards being a better version of yourself. And that's what being a queen is all about. I'll be back next week. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel.